Good morning. So it's Monday, August 8th. It's almost 9 a.m. We kind of slept in a little bit, but we don't have that far to go. We're packing up camp at Wapati Lake, and Sarah's doing something that I have never been able to do in the backcountry unless I bring a mirror. Um, I guess from your camp days.
No, I don't know. Just
But Sarah can put on her contacts without having a mirror, which I really should practice doing. Um, it's a life skill everyone should have because I definitely can't do it without some sort of reflection to look at. Um, so we're going to get going a little bit. We're going to the Fern Lake backcountry campsite. It's a much bigger campsite. It has a capacity for 20 people and something like
25 stock.
25 stock. And we did see a stock group go by yesterday, but they were going the other way. So we may actually, for once, have neighbors at a campsite. We haven't this whole trip, which I guess is not unusual for Yellowstone from the little bit of anecdotal evidence and stories we've heard. Um, that's about it. I think for the music selection this morning, I've always been a big Springsteen fan, and in 2009, he did a live show, where he basically played an entire album, his second album, which is really old and only didn't get a lot of radio play, but it's a great album, so I'm looking forward to listening to that. Uh-oh. We have
I found it.
Can I help you wash it off?
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's about it for now. We're going to be all on trail for the rest of this trip. We were off trail for a couple nights. The weather looks great, and maybe today's the day we'll actually see some wildlife out here. I was expecting to see more wildlife. You always hear about Yellowstone and the grizzlies and everything, and especially with all the off-trail stuff we've been doing, I thought we would see more. Not that that's disappointing. It's just thought we'd see more. So maybe today's the day. We'll see. Anyway, it's a great way to spend a Monday morning. So it's about 10 in the morning. We're on the Pelican Creek Trail, and we're on the border with the Pelican Valley Bear Management Area. So we're seeing lots of meadows to our left as we're hiking, which is all the bear management area. We picked this break spot because these are some huge antlers that were shed, 10 points on each. So we're not sure if it's 2 animals or 1 animal, right? It's got to, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not an expert, but they're huge. So pretty cool to see. So there's definitely, you know, there is animal activity out here. We're just not
Seeing it.
fortunate enough to see any of it, but that's how she goes sometimes. Really pretty area, and gonna take a little break here. The hiking's been really easy.
Yep.
And we're gonna get to a a patrol cabin.
So
Yeah.
check that out.
So we'll see if that's open for business or not and go from there. Quick little late morning update. It's about 11:30. We just passed the Fern Creek patrol cabin, but it's on the other side of the trail, so we didn't go check it out. Looked like it was locked up. We're on the Stringent Creek Trail now, headed towards our campsite, and we finally see a little bit of mountain range in the distance. And I looked it up. It's Chittenton Peak at about 10,000 feet. Coincidentally, when Sarah and I were in Yosemite, we did an off-trail climb of the Chittenton Peak out there. I think it was the western side of Yosemite from the Hetch Hetchy Reservoir Dam trailhead. So pretty cool, but we've just been hiking through pretty much paralleling wide open meadows, following Pelican Creek for a while. Now I think we're following a Stringent Creek. And it's a pleasant Monday morning. All right, so we're on the trail. We're getting close to Fern Lake. We're about a quarter mile or so away, but we have this water crossing to do. And this was the warning that we got, that a lot of silt has come in here and it acts like quicksand. So we're gonna do some scouting along the river and maybe find a little better spot to cross. We don't want to deal with quicksand. So that's the Yellowstone update, day 5, Monday around noon, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side of this river. All right, so we found a really safe spot to cross. This is actually a creek, not a lake or a river. It's the Stringent Creek. So Sarah's gonna put on her Crocs. I just had the La Sportiva Wildcats. They dry out pretty quickly. If we had miles and miles more to go to the campsite, I would have switched, but we only have like a half mile or so to get to the campsite, so just let them dry out at camp. But Sarah's getting ready to come across. It's actually, it's nice and shallow. There's lots of rocks. So it definitely did look a lot worse where the actual trail junction was. We only had to go a few hundred feet or so. And this is, of the water crossings we've done in the backcountry, I'd say this is pretty tame, but pretty refreshing, huh?
It is. It's nice. I'm glad I don't have my shoes on. But
Yeah. I hope our camp water is from this creek. It's nice and cold. We've had warm lake water the past few nights. And there you go. That's how you avoid quicksand.
Brian always gets videos of me crossing, so I thought I'd get a video of him. Oh, there's a little something. geyser? I don't know what it's called, but it's bubbling.
Hot spring.
Hot spring.
Yep. So it wouldn't be an adventure if we didn't get lost a little bit or make a wrong turn. So we just realized as we got to Fern Lake and start looking for which way around the lake we go to our campsite isn't at the lake, which we both knew. We looked at the map 100 times, but the campsite is off the trail before we cross the quicksand. So we get to do some more water crossings. We were so, I think, involved with the quicksand, we didn't bother to look at the map like we usually would. And the sign there didn't really indicate, it just said go to Fern Lake, and that's where we assumed we were headed. But we're going to be coming this way to Fern Lake tomorrow, but not today. So after we recross, it looks like it's about under a half mile to get to our campsite. No big deal. But that's how it goes sometimes. It just shows how quickly, even on a trail, you can get turned around. So it's always good to double check when you come to a junction. So we'll probably, hopefully, see you at the campsite, and it probably won't take more than 30 minutes or so, hopefully. See you then. Well, it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. We made it to our campsite. Let me give you the grand tour. It's 5B1. It's called the Fern Lake campsite, but we're a good 3/4 of a mile from the lake. So I've already got our drying rack for my wet trail runners and socks. And then Sarah just showed up. She changed into her Crocs again. But it's a really nice, that meadow there is prime wildlife watching, especially when it turns to dusk. But we got a nice flat shady spot right here. If Sarah gives the thumbs up, we'll set up camp right here.
Yep.
And then
horsehair.
We've got our bear hanging pole.
Ooh.
So yeah, they have 2 of them. Maybe we will have some neighbors tonight. Seems like a really nice spot for sure. So the fire pit must be over here as well. Yep, 2 bear hangs. They expect a lot of people here. Oh, look at this. They already have some wood chopped up. They got serious wood. But if you're bringing stock animals in here, you can bring that big hatchet. You can probably even pack some of this sweet cordwood, which is probably what happened, right? They're coming in on the pack animals and they're bringing real firewood. So maybe if we have some folks show up, we'll have a little campfire. Who knows?
There's not a lot of downed wood I don't see.
No.
Picked over.
So we'll get the tent set up. We'll get our bear hangs situated and then enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Nice site.
I hear a creek.
Go check that out. So it didn't rain last night, but it did get cold last night. It was like 39 in our tent this morning. So we did have some condensation on our fly and our tarp. So what the heck, might as well dry them out before we set them up in the shade. Looks like we got a really shady spot, so there might not be any sun hitting our tent, which is fine. But just letting it dry out since we have the time and we have all this beautiful sunshine. So real quick, people always talk about luxury items when you're backpacking, and we take quite a few luxury items. Camp chair is probably the heaviest one, the Crazy Creeks, but they're fantastic. But this guy, I don't remember the thru hiker blogger I was watching. It was one of the PCT bloggers, and they mentioned that they heard from other thru hikers that this was worth its weight in gold. Especially if you have any kind of blow up air mattress. We're blowing up 2 of these every night, right? And however many, 60 nights.
Especially like a higher elevation.
Especially a higher, yeah, it just knocks you out. This thing, we can blow up both air mattresses every night. We've done 6 nights so far and not having to recharge it. And I could recharge it if I needed to, but haven't had to. And it's so simple. You just plug it in. hit it, and instant mini air compressor. And in about a minute, I'll have a fully inflated mattress. I mean, talk about a luxury item. Definitely spoiled with this one, but definitely, I keep meaning to do it, like order another one from Amazon just to have a backup. Because you know me, I like my redundancy and my backups. So I highly recommend this thing. I think it was only 15, 20 bucks. And I have put it through the ringer already. And
What's
it's
the brand name?
Flex Tail Gear Tiny Pump. And I guess they're a small company that they sell on Amazon. It's awesome. Go get one. Go get it now. So I got another tasty treehouse beer here. And it's not warm to the touch, but it's not ice cold. And we've got nature's refrigerator right here. When I was gathering our water, notice this was a nice cool stream running through. So I'm gonna find a spot to put that in, put a couple rocks over it, come back in a half hour or so, and have a nice cold beer ready and waiting for us. So that's nice. It's good too because the sun isn't really hitting this section, which would also warm it up a bit. So I'll be looking forward to that in an hour or so. So we're at our campsite. We've been here for a couple hours, hanging out, chilling. About to go to the refrigerator and get that cold beer. Our campsite is there. There's Sarah. We're drying our trail runners and socks. They're getting pretty dry. But we've got this wide open meadow next to our shady campsite. And I'm really hoping we see some wildlife here as it gets later in the afternoon and into the evening. It's a prime location. The creek we crossed is running this way. I think it's called a stringent creek. It's running this edge of the meadow. So the animals will be coming here for water and grazing, hopefully. I think this is probably our best shot of seeing something, hopefully. And we've got the binoculars, so haven't really had a chance to use them at all this trip. Hoping we can use them today. And you know, deer, you know, you kind of expect, but we'd love to see something else, a little variety. Who knows? We're gonna keep our eyes open, keep our ears open, and as it gets later in the evening, maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see something out of here, just doing its thing. Keep it posted.